Welcome to another episode of the Cheerful Soundman podcast. It's a weekly show for event professionals about the challenges and lessons of producing stellar events with a smile. I'm Drew, a producer here, and in today's mini-episode, we're hearing a little bit from Eric on the harsh realities and fears of running a business, especially when a global pandemic hits. This is from a recent podcast interview, and it didn't make it into the episode, but it was too good not to share. So, here's Eric.
Our society is in this place of like entrepreneurial, everybody should be a business owner and all this stuff. And the thing that nobody tells you is, yes, you should be a business owner if you'd prefer not to sleep at night a lot of nights, if you'd prefer to almost lose your marriage and be gone all the time and all these things. And that's the stuff that people don't talk about to really foster it. The most, probably the worst that I've felt, I'm super even-keeled personality, right? Not a lot gets me. I told you recently I've had a lot of money stolen from me in a scam, and even that, I can joke about it already. It's still current, and I can joke about it. But the worst I think that I've ever felt was when the pandemic hit, and all I could think about was having to lay everyone off. At no fault of their own, and no real fault of mine, just something that, I can only bleed for so many months without actual income, and I had a pretty good savings. I had a couple $100,000 saved because I believe in having cash built up. Absolutely. And, because stuff happens, you end up with a big expense, you end up with the truck breaking, you end up with these things. And so I had saved for multiple months of expenses, and, I was just looking at that burning in the first 2 weeks of stuff. I was just looking at burning through. And then on top of everything else, like everybody else, I got no idea what the world's looking like. I'm going, is this the apocalypse? Is this the end? My kids are all home from school. We're all stressed. They're trying to do virtual school. They're all ready to kill each other. I'm ready to kill them. Everybody's at, there's all this stress. And that is legitimately the worst. Now it is fresh and recent. That's the worst I think I've ever felt in my life. And mostly because I felt the accountability to the people who have done so much hard work for me and to build my company and to do this thing together. And now, again, through no fault of anyone's own, now we're looking at, I feel like I'm letting them down, even though I know, again, I did some of the right things. I saved money, I did these things, but I know I'm going to let these people down. Fast forward, thankfully, we laid off maybe 2 people, and I'm very sorry for those 2 folks. So don't hear me also say that shallowly, but out of the 15, out of those 15 folks or so that we had when it all happened, we laid off 2, I believe. We laid off more right away, and we're like, sorry, please go get unemployment. They also did the expanded thing right away. Please go do what you got to do for your family. I really don't have any work. None of us should really be here. We don't even know if we should be around each other right now. Let's everybody go home. And so we kind of did that right away. But within a couple weeks, we brought everybody but 2 people back. And I'm very proud to say we grew back up and have more employees than we did at the beginning of COVID, even though things aren't even back to where they were, because that was a priority. But I got on that tangent because I think that people don't understand. And it's not a woe is me. I also, this is the greatest thrill of my life. This is creation. This is artwork to me, is trying to keep this thing together and build it, right? But it is not for 98% of people. And even a lot of people who are in it, like you said, there are points in your life where you got to adjust your priorities. And I think this is something that's not talked about enough with our culture, glorifying entrepreneurs as if they're basketball players and musicians and things like that, right at that level of you got Shark Tank and all the rock star entrepreneurs and everybody should be a company owner. And it's just really not the case. And it makes me very sad that people that it's even like that, because it is such a hard and difficult road. And I think COVID, if anything, proved that to a lot of us, that everything was going great for, and then all of a sudden it wasn't.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Cheerful Soundman podcast. If you like the show, it would be awesome if you could subscribe and leave a review on Apple or Spotify podcasts. That would make our day. And follow us on Instagram or Facebook at The Cheerful Soundman. Either way, thank you for tuning in, and we really hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully you got a little something out of it too. Can't wait until we share the next episode, which will drop next week, so stay tuned, and until then, don't suck and don't be a jerk.